Hey folks, this is BestInSlot. Welcome back to my coverage of the Jurassic World Evolution 2 Camp Cretaceous Dinosaur Pack. We've seen the Scorpios Rex, we've seen some aspects of the free update, but the pack itself does of course contain a bunch of other skins and dinosaur variants along with the two new dinosaurs. We're going to take a look at everything you get today as part of that pack. And we're going to kick things off with the skins. So these shouldn't change the model too much, although a couple of them do. They really just change the outward skin. And we're going to kick things off with Toro. So there we go, there is Toro in all of his glory. He's not crispy, I'm afraid, as some people wanted, I know. He's not crispy, and he doesn't have a scar on either side. He appears to be, generally speaking, unscarred. But I've got to say, it's a really cool looking skin. The way the colours have been done really highlights the Carnotaurus model in a really nice way. And when you compare it, the other Carnotaurus is where it kind of shows quite clearly the vast differences are. They look almost like a different species altogether. The differences are so clear. This one's got this nice faded purple colours and the warm colours there. This fairly haphazard spotting along the back. Some green even on the skull. Whereas Toro, lots of dark colours, lots of lighter colours down the spine with these sort of whitish colours, these creamy colours here. The jaw is much more definitively split. We've got these black stripes down the back, those very black horns, and more clear highlighting and ridging above the eyes. Right, next up we're going to check out some of the other skins. We've got the Baryonyx trio. We're going to look at Chaos, Grim, and Limbo, and I believe it's in that order. There you go. So interestingly, this is, let me double check, this is Chaos. Yeah, I think Chaos, Grim and Limbo is the order. This is kind of very similar in a way to the Carnotaurus with me, in that I really like this skin. It kind of does away with a lot of the problems that the Baryonyx has by skin texture and that kind of knobbly bobbly sort of look it has going on. Instead, we get this much smoother skull coloration and texturing. That little dapple of colour there is really nice. And it actually looks pretty good. Really good work. Very close to the official one, but updated a little bit to be more suitable for Jurassic World Evolution 2, which is of course what we want to see. Let's check out Chaos. Grim. Okay, same deal with Grim. Again, the face just looks so much better to me. It really is an improvement. I love that. We've still got the blue dappling there, but we've got that streak of sort of runny pink mascara going on around the eyes, and then that sort of green dappled skin along the back. Dappled appears to be my word of the day. I don't know how I've said it 3 times already, but yeah, there is your Grim skin. That rhymes, and therefore that makes it super cool. Limbo with that more sort of reddish crimson, sort of dried blood-esque coloration. There's little hints of purple in there. Probably the least exciting of the bunch in my opinion. Not as interesting as the others in terms of the coloration. It's just a little bit too dull. Even the blue around the head has been toned down a little bit as it's overlaid with this sort of red crimson-y sort of colour, but still, generally speaking, pretty cool. And again, I really like the changes to the skull in terms of the texture. That's really the main advantage this has over the Fallen Kingdom Baryonyx. I've got to say, I think Grim might be my favourite. I think the red and blue together there against the green is actually a really cool combo. But Chaos is pretty sweet looking as well. Oh no, maybe Chaos is my favourite. I really like these stripes of blue popping up along the body. Either way, all 3 of them look pretty sweet, and you can now have the trio together. And of course, we've got these new DFW... we've got the cages and stuff like that, so if you wanted to build habitats that look more suitable for the Baryonyx from the show, you could do that now as well. Next up is a Big E.T., otherwise known as Plant in My Face. Nice dramatic exit as well there, perfect. There she is. So, Big E.T. there. Hopefully one day we get Little E.T. That would be a nice little combo. But Big E.T. is actually a really nice skin. I think the reason we don't have Little E.T. is she's very similar to the Buck Rex, I think, from the Lost World. Either way, Big E.T. there, so she's got this kind of grey, purplish, bluish, hints of blue, hints of purple, but mainly grey coloration in there, and then those darker stripes. It's not the most interesting pattern in the world, but I've got to say, I like how it looks here more than I liked how it looked in the previews that we had. I actually think that's a pretty interesting Rex pattern. I can't say I care too much about the Big E.T. of it all, because just saying the name makes me cringe a little bit, but still, I think it's actually a really cool skin pattern. It looks really good in Evolution 2. That was always going to be the challenge, to take these cartoony dinosaur skins and bring them into a more, it's not like a full-on realistic game, but it's definitely edging in that direction. So it's really cool to see how they've brought these skins to life. I'm really enjoying seeing it. Right, let's move on. We've got some Parasaur officers. These are the last Frost skins. We've got two variants of the Lux skin, Lux 1 and Lux 2. We're going to release these at nighttime. I will show you them in the daytime as well, but you know, they're bioluminescent. You've got to see them in the night. I'm very excited to release 6 of them into this nighttime. This is Lux 1. It's really cool. Man, that looks so... I can't believe they pulled off bioluminescence so well. Look at it. Look how bright they are. These little neon lights dancing around the exhibit. You can see them from miles away. Looks like they've been tagged with something special. This is my favourite of the two. It's even got like the shine effects. You'll catch... There, look. You can see the light bouncing off the bioluminescence there. This is my favourite of the two Lux skins. This is Lux 1, so this is the pink stripes with sort of the bluer crest effect. We'll see sort of the reverse of this on the next one. But I find the pink is so shocking and neon that it kind of stands out a little bit better than the more subtle blue does. Either way, they're really, really cool looking, and I'm very excited to see what else we can do with this down the line. Let's check out the others, and then we'll see how they look in the daytime. And then we'll have a little rave. That'll be fun. There is a slightly interesting effect on them in that the body appears to be... Okay, this is some slight madness going on here. The body appears to have like weakened shadows, if that makes sense. It feels a little like the face here feels like it should be darker. Does that make sense? I don't know if I'm crazy, but I feel like the darker shadows have been sort of lit up, so that it kind of looks like they're copy and pasted in a slightly strange way. That might just be being nitpicky, but they are fantastic. They look really cool together in a giant multicoloured herd. They are generally speaking pink in coloration, but you can see how this one has more pink on the crest, but then the body still has a lot of pink, but the highlights of it are much more in this sort of baby blue sort of colour, and you can see it kind of dims the colour rather than brightens it as it does with the pinks, which are sort of hot pink and much more intense. So this is actually my favourite. Yeah, they do seem to look, if not identical, I can't tell the difference, let's put it that way. But this is actually one of my favourite things about them, because the skin is just so normal in the daytime. There's no hint of that crazy bioluminescence. It's brown and green and a little bit tame. And there, I actually forgot about Bumpy. I feel so guilty. Some people are going to be very angry about that. Lovely little exit animation, slamming the club down on the ground. And there she is, fully grown and ready to rock. I've got to say, I'm really impressed with this Bumpy skin. Again, I've mentioned how I think Evolution 2 always was going to have a challenge with this. Frontier were always going to have a challenge in this, on taking these very cartoony, saturated skins and bringing them through to Evolution 2 and making them look, you know, well textured and good looking. More of a challenge, I would say, with the dinosaurs we're going to look at after this. But Bumpy looks really good. She's not overly saturated, but you can still see the blue there, the sky blue, and the yellow on the underbelly and on the front of the mouth. And of course, even though she's a skin, technically you'd probably call her a variant, because there has been a model change. We've got the bumpiness, we've got that asymmetrical bump on the front of her face, as the left bump is obviously much bigger than the right bump, her little baby right bump. And yeah, I think she's going to prove to be super popular. Have one big herd of like Jurassic World style boring ankylosaurs, and then have one Bumpy in there breaking it up with all this colour. I think that might look really, really cool actually. So now, just before I show you these variants, I want to show you something very interesting just in their genetic profile. We've got our regular skin colours here, of course, and then we've got our Pierce skin colour. And as you can see, the variants aren't just changing the model here, they're actually changing the size of the dinosaur. They'll be registered as different sizes in your game. So you can see the Pierce skin actually registers the Ketosaurus as a large dinosaur. The same is true if we go down to the Varanasaurus. That's how the alphabet works, right? Yeah, okay. Give me a minute. So same sort of deal goes on here. You can see Varanasaurus 2015, size small. So the Varanasaurus is going to shrink down and the Ketosaurus is going to grow up. And we're going to hopefully see that in game. Let's try releasing... Come on, buddy, get out of the way. Come on. Come on. There we go. Let's release Pierce, our Camp Cretaceous Ketosaurus variant. Gotta say, kind of looks fantastic. Really, really big fan. To the point that I wish we had this variant and then all the skins apply to this variant as well. You know, that'd be really nice. So the differences might not be immediately apparent, but I want you to take note of the chunky head, the really much bigger body, and that humongous tail. And of course the coloration is really interesting. We've got these almost blood red, tall, thick plates here. The spike is over here at the top of the thigh, and then it's beautiful. The texture work and coloration and pattern building here is absolutely phenomenal. Whoever made this one in particular should be super proud of themselves, because that is a gorgeous skin. It really is. I love this sort of the coloration here. These warm, orangey, reddy, bloody colours. They look fantastic. So let's just keep this in your mind's eye, and let's go take a look at the other. And you can see the vast difference right there. Perfect. Thank you, guys. The size difference is absolutely phenomenal. Pierce is probably twice the size of the other Ketosaurus. You can see how the spines get a lot bigger. They're actually much nicer textured as well, generally speaking. The body is much bigger, the head's bigger, the neck's thicker, the tail is much bigger, and the spike comes down but moves forward onto the thigh, as you can see, whereas on this Ketosaurus, it's here sort of at the sort of back of the shoulder, I guess you would call it. Yeah, I really like this Pierce model. I think that's really good. I'd love for all the Ketosauruses to look like this. You know, it'd be cool to have both, don't get me wrong, in the game, but I'm leaning towards Pierce. I just like my big chunky dinosaurs though, what can I say? And that is a big chunky dinosaur right there. For our second variant then, we're going to check out the Varanasaurus. Remember, this one should have shrunk down instead of raised up. Like bread. I need a better word than raised up. That is a tiny Varanasaurus right there. No, Pierce. Over Varanasaurus. Alright, let's check it out. Again, see the size difference in action. It is, again, fairly substantial. It really is. You can see the differences in the model. The head shape is entirely different, really, on the Camp Cretaceous variant. It looks very different. Much thinner at the beak sort of area and more prominent here in the bouncy bit, we're going to call it. The sail is more like a sail. As you can see, it kind of splits the body quite sharply down the middle. Whereas with the Jurassic World Evolution of Varanasaurus, it's much more like a hump than anything else. You can see there's some flabby muscle stuff going on here across the middle, unlike on this one. The tail is very long and very sort of straight with this one. With this one, it's much shorter and kind of droops down like that. quite different in look. These ones you'd probably struggle to call Mama and Papa quite as much, especially given the stronger shape here at the back as well. You can see the shape for the sail is quite prominent. Goes all the way back down here, down the tail. I really like it again. I think it's pretty interesting. Coloration is really interesting on the head with the green and the blue. Not as big a fan as I was with Pierce. That's just the inherent design, but I do really like, again, the coloration here. And again, the job they've done of taking this from Camp Cretaceous and bringing it into Evolution is really, really impressive. Now, all we need is a boat, and for these guys to go mental, you could, again, build a nighttime habitat with Varanasauruses and loads of shipping containers. That could be really cool and bring that scene to life from the show. Of course, that's why Varanasaurus was so liked in the show, because it showed herbivores acting in a more aggressive way that we don't really see very often in Jurassic properties. God, Bumpy is massive. Right, that is it for the variants as well, but there are 2 species to check out. I'm going to have individual videos on both of these species, so we're not going to spend too long looking at them, but let's check out the Scorpios Rex and the Monoloofosaurus. I didn't mention this in my video, but the music choice as well for when the Scorpios Rex emerges is very cool. It's like X-Files stuff with the that little drippy music that they use in horror all the time, and then the drums go in bam, 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 bam. It's a very, very cool mix of sound effects. Big fan of that. Actually, I didn't comment on that, but I wish I had, because that is lovely stuff. Anyways, there is your Scorpios Rex. Comes with 2 different Camp Cretaceous skins. One that looks like this, and one that's basically a little bit more greyish blue in coloration. Again, I will have a video, if you've not seen it already, if you click on my channel and check it out, I've got a video all about the Scorpios Rex, showcasing all its skins and showcasing all its animations, but I will show you the other skin type right now. This is my favourite, at least based on what we saw in the skin viewer, so I want to see it in-game. Listen to the music. Gets louder and louder, and then the Scorpios Rex roars. And this is the Rainforest Skin with the lithobates pattern over the top. Gives it that dash of yellow on the quills, which just makes it look like this terrifying venomous creature. And of course, the Scorpios Rex is indeed venomous, even here in Evolution. So, really bizarre looking, looks really cool. Does look like some terrifying creature found in the depths of the Amazon rainforest, which is an aesthetic that I'm very big on. Right, let's check out the Monoloofosaurus. I believe it's this one first. No, it's this one. Cool little exit animation there. So just like the Scorpios, the Monoloofosaurus comes with an official Camp Cretaceous style skin, which is what you're looking at here. So this is the one pulled for the show, and again updated to look a little bit more suitable for Evolution 2. Funnily enough, I much prefer the Frontier version. I think they've done a really good job. This one's okay, but maybe a little bit, I don't know, I think the colours blend together a little bit too much. It's a little bit messy in some ways, but it does look like what it looks like on the show. I've got to say, the crest in particular looks really good. The detail work on that crest is pretty sublime in the texturing, so shout out to the texture artist for the Monoloofosaurus. Oh god, I was trying to do the Monoloopho sound. Sorry, that probably sounded weird. It's pretty accurate though. And there you go. So as I said, I do actually prefer this version. The Frontier version is pretty wild. If we click this one here in particular, you can see we've got that orange-brown skin, and then this humongous burst of crazy, almost pterosaur-esque coloration over there on the crest and snout area. It even gets there a little bit, and it pops up at the top of the head as well. It does seem largely contained to the front, although you can see splashes of colour here along the tail in the stripes and stuff like that. Really, really interesting. That's the patternless white version. There we've got a bit of blue on this one over here. Patternless one over there. Oh no, it's got a bit of yellow, that one, doesn't it? Yeah, a little yellow there on the snout. Just a really cool Oh, that is a nice... I'll just check what that one is in case people are curious. That's a nice little skin colour combination right there. What have we got? We've got Limpopo River and Lithobates. So, yeah, Monoloofosaurus looking really cool. Now, I don't know if I've done it yet. It's the only video I haven't recorded yet. But hopefully we'll have a video looking at the Monoloofosaurus in more detail, and of course checking out all its animations and stuff like that. But I believe that is it, ladies and gentlemen. We've got 8 skins, 2 variants, and 2 brand new species. Thank you so much for joining me throughout today for all these videos. There's been a lot of time and work put into these so far. I know I've still got one more to go and it makes me sad. Until next time, thank you for joining me. Throw me a like if you enjoyed the video. Stick around for more Jurassic World Evolution 2 content. We're going to start a very cool horror-themed park this week using new items and stuff from Update 2. And yeah, I've said enough words. I say a lot of words. Thanks for joining me. Cheers, much as always. Bye-bye.